Hey guys, Noah here. I played a lot of Tryndamere. I got like 600,000 mastery points on the character, and on Plat 4, I've learned some things about the character that I want to let the general public know, or Tryndamere mains that might not know about them, because they seem pretty uncommon to know about. So first and foremost, let me get level 6. Actually, let's go all the way to max level. So, Tryndamere used to not be able to do this. So, if, what I'm talking about is used to not be able to cast your R when you're in your W animation. So, if you've ever had one of those moments where you're like, what the fuck, I pressed R, you even like clipped it or something, like, it's probably because you pressed your W right before. Your W would have prevented you from casting your R. It just got bug fixed not too long ago. Not sure when. Probably when he got his visual update, or the small visual update. But yeah, so want to let you guys know if you've ever had that happen to you. Also, your W reduces the AD of everyone around you. If you look in the bottom right here, it says decreases surrounding champions attack damage by 80 for 4 seconds. What the fuck? So people don't know about this. They only know that it's the chicken ability that you can, you know, catch up to people. That helps you catch up to people. But you can actually reduce so many people's AD with this. And it can also help you in duels. It starts at 20 at rank 1, which is still a lot level 1 if you think about it. Scales all the way up to 80, which is a whole item's worth of 80. So, another thing you might not know is that, let me get the items. What the fuck, it's lagging. That W and Tiamat proc phase rush. So, if you want to go phase rush, which I think is a very underrated route on Tryndamere, you can always just E, Tiamat, and, well, W. I fucked that up because I wasn't facing the target dummy. But your W will proc phase rush, and Tiamat will also proc phase rush. So, I think it's a really underrated route on Tryndamere, and you should try it. The next thing I want to talk about is that Tryndamere has a lot of viable runes. So let's go through the keystones that Tryndamere can use pretty effectively, or that are top tier on Tryndamere. So we have Lethal Tempo, obviously, it's the one people take the most. Fleet Footwork, which I think is very underrated and can help you lane sit through any fucking hard matchup. Phase Rush, which I just talked about, which can help you chase people down. There's actually a Grandmaster Tryndamere on EU West that only does Phase Rush or Fleet Footwork mid lane. Tryndamere mid lane. Pretty cool. So, Lethal Tempo, Fleet Footwork, Phase Rush. Grasp of the Undying is actually super good into a lot of matchups, including Jax. And I think it's pretty viable. It helps your early game's actually kind of stronger. And the last one I think is pretty viable is Glacial Augment. Glacial Augment is doubly effective on Tryndamere because you can take Approach Velocity rune, and Tryndamere's W reduces people's move speed by 30% rank 1, and you gain 50% move speed from Approach Velocity if you use it on someone, which makes you fast as fuck. And honestly, it's pretty insane how fast you can get. People just have to flash. It's so good, you should try it. It was the rune I took the most before the new Essence Reaver came out. Tryndamere has a lot of viable items as well. So I have this page with all of the viable items, items I think are viable on Tryndamere. Like all these boots are viable on Tryndamere. You might not think the CDR boots are viable on him, but it's just a relic of when we would go AP Tryndamere, which is still kind of good. Where you would go Nashor's Tooth into Lichbane with the CDR boots to get 40% CDR very fast. You can build this, then this, then this, and then the boots, and you would already have 40% CDR at like 3,500 gold spent, which is really strong. And it would work really well when you would take the free boots. Another item I want to talk about that's good on Tryndamere is Youmuu's Ghostblade. So, you know, at this point, if you play a lot of Tryndamere, you know 40% CDR is kind of core on Tryndamere right now, and that's why people buy Essence Reaver first in virtually every matchup. What I want to talk about is going Youmuu's Ghostblade second, and the Transcendence rune from the sorcery page somewhere in your runes. So you'll get 40% CDR by doing that, and you also get the active from Youmuu's Ghostblade that gives you a ton of move speed. So in addition to the mobility you get from getting 40% CDR, you also get a shitload of move speed and lethality, which is also pretty good on Tryndamere. So I think it's really good. You can also use it defensively to get out of split pushes that you shouldn't have been in the first place. Like, you're fucking whacking on the turret super hard, tier 2 top lane turret, and 4 people show up. You probably have enough time to pop your Yomus and your Ghost and spin away and probably get out. So just think about that and think about the ridiculousness of what you can do while living, while split pushing. Yomu's Ghostblade enables that. People might not know this, but Trinity Force is pretty good on Tryndamere. People will build Essence Reaver into Trinity Force. Mainly the CDR components are super good. 45% CDR, yada yada yada. Basically, anything that builds out of this Call of Field's Warhammer is probably good on Tryndamere, besides Death Dance. Death Dance will actually kill you when you come out of ulti, and you don't want that. So, yeah. So, like, if you're into an AP heavy team, you can go Essence Reaver with the 10% CDR rune and go Maw, and that helps you a lot. You can also go Wit's End afterwards because it gives you a lot of stats that you will need, and especially in a game with a lot of AP, Magic Resist is super good. It's like a version of Blade of the Ruin King with Magic Resist on it instead of AD, which is really good, honestly. Guardian Angel, this item is okay on Tryndamere, but please don't buy it, because you can still cast your R, because you can cast your R in anything besides your own W for a long time. And that includes being in the stasis effect of Guardian Angel. So if you die, Guardian Angel procs and you're reviving, you can still cast R, which is super bad, and you shouldn't do that, but it can happen. So if you're gonna build Guardian Angel, you should know that. Let's see. You can also build Black Cleaver and Warmog's first 2 items, and an Essence Reaver and some point there if you want the cooldown reduction. Or actually, you can build Black Cleaver into Warmog's with the 10% rune, and you'll get 40% CDR, and you'll be able to proc Warmog's armor. Now, in that same scenario when I was talking about if you had Yomu's Ghostblade, well, instead of just being fast at getting out of it, why don't you just be tanky? You can just spin over the nearest wall, and you're probably out of the fight that you just got yourself into. And the beauty of it is that in about 10 seconds, you'll be full HP again because of Warmog's. So they will never actually be able to stop you from hitting the turret, and if you're doing this setup, you can also go Grasping and Dying with Demolish, and so the thing is, you just walk up to the turret, proc your Demolish, and walk away, wait for Warmog's to kick in, go to full HP, and then do that again. You can also ignore people a lot and just hit the turret, so just wanted to let you guys know that. This should be up here, honestly. So all of these other items are pretty good on Tryndamere. Sterix Gauge if you're going tank, Frozen Mallet if you're going tank. Storm Razor is actually pretty good on Tryndamere. Instead of giving you more mobility, it slows the other people down. But it's not something I would build over Essence Reaver. But it could be an alternative to Infinity Edge. You don't do as much damage, but you gain a little bit more slowing power. And all of these runes are super good on, or all these items are good on Tryndamere. Level 1, excuse the Elixir of Wrath and boots here, but this is obviously good, and a lot of people go, or Doran's Blade is obviously good. Longsword plus refillable is what a lot of high elo players take. You can also go triple rejuve bead because you have one of the highest health, or one of the highest regen level 1 in the game, and you have really good scaling with it too. So rejuve bead can actually help you live through lanes, but I wouldn't recommend it unless you like trolling or you really think you're gonna need it. God damn it, I got kicked again. Another one I would recommend taking is Doran's Shield into any AD ranged matchup like Jace, Quinn, or Jace, Quinn, Vayne, and even like Teemo. Like, all those ranged matchups fucking suck. But what you can do is you can go with the Fleet Footwork rune, Fleet Footwork, Legend Bloodline, and then you go Resolve Secondary into Second Wind and Revitalize with Doran's Shield start. And it's going to be super fucking hard to kill you because you have so much regen with those runes and your Q. You'll be able to like lane sit in any lane. Like, if you ever fucking like just get smacked on by a, if you ever get like just fucking shit on by a Quinn and you're like, well, what could I have done? Well, you could have just sat under your turret and healed through all of her damage. It works really well, especially when you go double armor minor runes, and Ninja Tabi first item or something like that. They'll never be able to kill you for like the rest of the game. Now, another matchup in which sustain might be good is tank matchups. Well, you're like, you ever been like fucking shat on by like a full tank Malphite and you're like, well, what could I have done? He built Ninja Tabi, Bramble Vest, first 2 items. There's nothing I could have done. There's no way I'll ever do damage to him. Well, here's what you should have done. You should have built Blade of the Ruin King, first item. Not to fight him, but to just ignore him and shove the Wayne, because however much damage he does to you, you can probably sustain through it with just a simple lifesteal item. You can also go the Fleet Footwork build into that, and it just puts it through the roof, where it's like, well, yeah, he's dealing damage to me, but like I'm gonna heal all of it, so fuck it. Like I don't even need to trade with this guy. I'm just gonna hit creeps in. Eventually, he's gonna have to catch that wave and spend his mana on it, and eventually he'll run out of mana. So that's how you would create an advantage in those lanes where you don't feel like you can do anything versus the enemy laner. And if you're going to go that Fleet Footwork build, you can also just take intermittent trades where you go to like half health and heal it back, and eventually they won't be able to sustain as much as you, besides some characters. And also, a lot of characters that use mana, what you can do is you can build Tiamat and just shove it into them over and over and over and over again, and then eventually they will run out of mana to clear it backwards. Like, they'll have to spend mana to clear the wave. Eventually they'll run out of mana, but that Tiamat doesn't require mana, so that's another thing. Also, so if you have 45% CDR, I only have 40% because I didn't take the correct runes for this demonstration, but for example, if I had this and this, it would give me 45% CDR, and let's assume I had lethal tempo, because that's probably what you should take on this character anyways. This gives about lethal tempo stats. I'm sorry, I don't know all the hotkeys for the practice tool because I'm a degenerate. But, for example, I need to get crit for this demonstration. So, is it this one? Is it this one? Is it this one? Is it this one? I don't know which one it is. Oh, okay. So, you could spin on somebody, auto, and your spin's back up. That's because at max rank, with 40% CDR, your spin's a 4.8 second cooldown. With 45% CDR, it's 4.4. So what that means is you can spin, auto, spin. And that can be really useful for getting on the back line, or if you're even trying to chase someone down and there's a minion wave, you can spin, auto, spin again to catch them. So something you might not know. A lot of Tryndamere players are already going to know that, though. But if you're not a Tryndamere player, so one of the most useful things late game is spin flashing, because like sometimes it can just be super hard to engage on a team with a flank because they have like a lot of appeal. Like imagine there's like a Thresh on the enemy team. How the fuck are you gonna get to their AD carry? You can just pop his R, his Q, his E. There's so much there to stop you. Well, you can kill him fast as fuck because you're Tryndamere, right? So what you do is you spin flash on them, and you can cover a lot of ground with that and be instantly on their face. And if you spin directly on top of them, it's going to deal the spin damage instantly. So, you can do this with a lot of abilities in the game, like Shin's dash, and just a lot of dashes in general, where you can flash in the middle of the animation. So, like that, you can just, for example, if I wanted to hit this creep, he's dead. Boom. So, that can do like an instant 400 damage to somebody, and you can also use that if you're trying to finish someone off in lane and they've run away. You can just spin flash on them, and unless they predictively flash, they will not be able to react to the damage. And yeah, that's it. Those are the 7 tips on Tryndamere that I wanted to share with you guys. You guys probably already know a ton of them. If you know something I don't, please let me know. I'm always open to learning new stuff about this character. I love it. And if you like this content, like, comment, subscribe, do whatever the fuck is the meta now. Also, if you have any questions, you can DM me on Reddit at Reddit u/RazGrizTP, RazGrizTP. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it.